Okay, it looks like we're live. Hello, and welcome to the stream. We're back at it with the 2K course here today. We're kind of getting to the end on this one, I think. Hey, Ben, how's it going? I think we'll have... might be the second to last episode, the penultimate episode, if you will, of this series, because I am running out of holes to finish up. There's 4 more or so that need a little bit of touch-up work, and then we should have the course as it plays done, and all that's left to do is detail planting, which should be relatively minimal in this course. Then like the clubhouse area, and I suppose I need to throw in probably like a driving range type thing, just for fun. / practice or short game area, something like that. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Anyways, nothing too crazy here. We'll just jump into it. Oh, I'm gonna kick off Spotify. I don't know why it's not staying logged in for some reason, which is annoying me. But whatever. Alright, come on out. There we go. There, now I've got some background. Cool. Okay. I think the ones we have left to do are 8, 15, 17, and 18. That's all we have left to do. Even these are mostly done. I just need a little bit of work to them. First things first, I want to bump this land down just a little bit. It'll make this have a little bit of a less severe slope, so it looks a little more natural. And also drops the land between the tee and the fairway a little bit, which is nice. That'll help our sight lines a little. Maddie, what's up? In Gooders, how are ya? I'm assuming that's how you pronounce your username. Alright, first things first. This fairway needs a little bit of help. I want to bring it in a little bit more. Now, do I want to add any bunkers out in the layup area? The answer's probably not, I suppose. Alright, I think something like that works for me. I mean, the answer, yeah. The answer is usually yes. This is me we're talking about here. Also, I need to make sure to, the good news is this playlist works nicely in that it's not throwing up any YouTube errors. Or, like, the Soundstripe stuff is giving me, not copyright strikes, but copyright notifications on YouTube. So, I mean, I can't remember if you have to pay to get Soundstripe to work for YouTube videos or not. I haven't fussed around with it too much, and since it's kind of repetitive anyway, just using Spotify for copyright-free music is working okay so far. Yeah, I mean, admittedly, the odds of me actually monetizing the channel are pretty slim. But, again, it's nice to at least look into options. And as long as me building a Spotify playlist of copyright-free background stuff works, plus I honestly will probably be able to get more variety of stuff, I think, this way. At least, at the very least, it's a good change of pace. Oh, I'm talking about YouTube, not Twitch, which is slightly different. I don't think the YouTube channel's not big enough to monetize yet. Nor am I really that concerned about a big monetization push for it, but again, it's nice to keep the options open, but I'm not fussed about it either way. Alright, I did do a silly and somehow made this 2 different splines, which is a little annoying. Who knows? I wanted to do a little bit of a tutorial series when the next game comes out. So who knows? Maybe we'll put a little bit of time into something like that. And in that case, if that does well, then that would, I think basic design tutorials are gonna, have way more reach than anything else the design community is gonna do. I don't expect to hit anywhere near the amount of views that Andre does. Nor, again, he does a great job at doing basic tutorials, and I don't think I could really improve on any of the stuff he does there. But I think I could also do a slightly different kind of series as well, that, maybe they'll, each have their own merits, I guess. Utility. I think utility is the word I'm looking for. Do you eyeball where to put bunkers, or lay up bunkers, or measure like Ben does? Sorry. I'm struggling to read that sentence in a way that makes sense to me. Oh, you're having a Mr. Peanut emote now? That's awesome. Let me go back and read that. Well, I usually doodle out my bunkers. I mean, realistically, that's just me eyeballing it, but, I don't know. I could just throw one in here, just out of laziness. Because otherwise, this hole just looks a little empty. It doesn't need anything crazy, but... This one lacks a little bit of visual punch for me. And just sprinkling in a little bit of decorative bunkering kind of works. Yeah, plus it adds a little interest to a layup, I suppose. Do you measure where you want the hazards to be, or place where you feel they may be better placed? Kind of both. It's, I'll usually sketch them out with measuring tools, and, I'll use measuring tools to, make sure they're in a spot where they're effective. If if I really want them to be strategic, or occasionally, after something like this, where I have most of the hole down, and I'm looking at it going, it's missing a little something. Then I'll sprinkle them in by feel. There's not like a hard science to it. We do a little bit of everything. Alright, that works for me. Cannot get the cliff edge to look right. Let's get the fuzziest brush for that. Nothing's gonna work here, is it? Yeah, it's because it's gonna pop that edge up. No EA spam call, that's fun. No, don't send a message. I wish there's a way to mute it without declining it. I think there is, I just don't remember the button presses are for that. The same number every time. It's really obnoxious. Actually, I could just block this number. They call every single day. Alright, there we go. Easy enough. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Despite the fact that it's never had a warranty. Or at least not since I've owned it. Actually, no, I take that back. It probably does still have a factory warranty for some stuff, but... regardless, I bought it secondhand, not through a dealer, so... or from the manufacturer, so... not really worried about any of those things. I was gonna say, both of those tutorial series are, you know, that should get your foot in the door. The rest is just kind of experience and practice. Let's see. Alright, let's pop this down a little bit. Something about this bunker just looks off, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. I guess it's the front is sitting a little high. We can pop that up a little bit. Yeah, that works for me. Cool. This cliff is gonna look funky no matter what I do to it. I could probably just stop worrying about it and just roll with it. That would be smart. Yeah, I mean, like, not to hate on the Facebook design groups, but there's so much bad information and all. Like most things on Facebook. Facebook is just like about 90% misinformation and garbage, and it's no exception when it comes to design in this game. It's usually quite hilarious. So yeah, just be a little skeptical of what you know, what you read on Facebook. Just in general. I was glad to hear it. Oh, that one, yeah, that one's fine. I'm still not the biggest fan of the, what do you want to call it? The concept for that contest. I think, you know, it's prone to some issues, but, you know, at least, you know, it's not, purely just, yeah, I feel like getting newer designers to try 2 courses on the same plot, it's just a lot of work, and it just means that, you know, you're gonna get less attention to, you know, each individual course. But how's that raised? Yes, it was. Actually, no, I do want raise. I just want a little bit more selective of a raise. Something like that. Yep, no worries, Maddie. Yeah. Looks like a lobster. Oh, yeah, it kind of does. I like it. Yes, that's the Lobster Bunker now. Alright. I can't put any trees there, because that would be in the way of 9. But decorating this one's going to be a little difficult. So we can drop this hill a little bit. Just get it a little less severe. Oh, that's right. These trees are all... Oh, no. Those are... they're not at a custom elevation, I don't think. So they should scale with the terrain. So, yeah. Just a little tip for those who are unfamiliar. When you just place an object on the terrain, you can move the terrain and the object will move with it. If you use the up and down tools to set it to a custom height, it will stay there. So if you say lower the terrain under it, then that, you know, or you like say you sink a tree into the terrain like this, and then you lower that terrain later, the tree's just gonna stay where it was. So something to keep in mind if you're editing some terrain and you have a bunch of sunken trees in it, or any kind of sunken object, really, is that you're probably going to need to readjust all of those. And we can probably do most of the new name is boring. It's not really the final name. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna go with it, but I needed a new name and I just don't have one yet. So it's just kind of a placeholder for now. Yes, I'm sorry the name's gonna be more boring than Sex Panther as a course name. The joke is fun, but you know, that's not gonna fly as a course name. I'm not sure. It really depends. I'm not sure how it's coded now, so I don't know how involved changes to it would be. It could be simple, it could be incredibly complicated, and I'm not sure which it would be. Need more lava hazards, as in like, you know, active, like piping red hot lava, like Mario Golf lava. Alright, let's see here. Again, I can probably go finish the planting later. We want to get the finished whole concepts in, so we can start doing some kind of final play testing for this. We do that earlier, that's a good thing. Well, that's interesting. I don't know if I'm not sure how good it'll turn out, but at least the idea is interesting. Now we can fit a little scraggly tree in here. Combine those two. Easy enough. Those trees are very in the way, but that's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's not a spectacular tee shot for the environment, but it's cool once you get up to your approach shot. It's like, the green site has some nice views to it. I just realized I could sneak a couple trees down on the parts of the cliff here. This tree, you do have like a Bond villain pit of lava now, so don't offend you too much. I'll try to keep that in mind. That one, there we go. Do I like that? Do I not? Whatever. I can just leave it. If I decide I hate it, I can remove it later. Okay, so I think I want to add a little bit of kind of fairway movement here. Just a bit. Just so it's not so flat. Not that this one is too egregious in terms of being overly flat, but we want some nice rolling fairways. So for stuff that doesn't have a ton of land movement, we can kind of go in, use the raise tool, and add a little bit more, rolls and land movement to it. So it fits into its land or environment a little bit better. Oh, that's right. It's for the Lord of the Rings themed one. Let's see. Should I do that to 9? I think 9's okay as far as land movement goes. This one's probably good. I think I just need to go add my next tee set here. One's pretty gettable on its own. It doesn't need any, the front tee doesn't need to be moved up too much. Good enough. And then we could just sprinkle our last tee set up here. So that should work. Good enough. Actually, maybe it needs to be a slightly less severe angle. I don't know. I'm overthinking it a little bit. It's fine. Again, I should probably do this off stream, but that's okay. I don't have a ton of work left on these last couple holes, so it really is just getting the last bits of sculpting, green work, that sort of stuff figured out. And then like, I think I've got a couple people in mind. I want to pass this off for playtesting too. It should be good. I've played this course a number of times at this point and have not really noticed any playability issues, but for something that's not in a contest and therefore there's no rules about, you know, like with a contest course, obviously I'm not passing it off for playtesting because the contest rules don't allow you to get feedback, which is, you know, whatever, that's fine. But, you know, for stuff like this where I don't have that and, you know, with a potentially wide audience, I'd like this to play well. You know, you don't want to... I want all of my courses to play well, but it, you know, there's a little extra incentive that, hey, we want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. We'll get some feedback on how it plays. Would you not put the tee box more to the right to aim more toward the cliff? I mean, it's an option. I don't think it really matters that much for this shot. Because the bunker is asking you to kind of play toward the cliff anyways. Alright, so green here. What would I want to do with this? So first things first, because this green's really a bit severe, or I should say it's pretty hard to hit for a long second shot. Now, it's very reachable, so I have no problem with it being harder to hit, but I don't want it to be impossible to hit. So I think that means making it, you know, we want it to slope from back to front. And I'd like to have it slope off to the left as well, so that shots from the left are rewarded more than shots from the right. Alright, let's do... I suppose pin one can be... I haven't made any of my pin one sets too forgiving, so I can... like, I think it's a little cliche if all of your... like, if pin one's just the easiest pin set on every hole. I was gonna say, give me the slope. There we go. Let's get that slope a little less severe. Whoops. It did not work. Good enough for now. Alright. Controller pop back in. We'll try pin 4. Alright, tee boxes work just fine. Tee shot works fine. Oh, that's a terrible shot. Yeah, but I hit it short enough that it does not matter. But now I don't get to try this shot. So let's rewind it a bit. Alright, that works. There we go, there's the shot we need. That's a harsh bounce. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. With us fussing with the fairway sculpting a little bit, we don't want anything that's gonna say harshly bounce your ball off a cliff. Random bounces are okay, really penal random bounces are not great. Well, at least I can hold this green now. still not easy, but it's doable. And this one's already done. I don't think we need any major revisions to this one. All right, so there we go. 8 is probably good here. Next up, we want to make sure that we get the heavy rough border penciled in for this hole. Doesn't need a lot. It just needs, say, tee boxes covered, that sort of stuff. Most of this is already good as far as heavy rough goes, so I can just work it around that way. And smooth, and we're good. Okay, so then we have tee boxes. Oh, crowds. We can sprinkle in some tournament crowds, just a bit, because yeah, there wouldn't really be many in this green. You're kind of in the firing line for 9. So I suppose you just have a couple sprinkled in here. All right, good enough. We'll take a quick peek at it. Actually, here, let's do pin 1. I haven't tried any of the new pin sets on this one. Oh, wrong hole. Don't want to playtest 9, I want to playtest 8. Go. Yeah, I think I'm okay with this green site. And this one's not the most exciting golf hole, but it's perfectly functional, and like, I don't know. I hate to call a cliffside hole a connecting hole, but it's kind of how it functions on this routing. Plus you're bouncing around the cliff sides a lot anyways. Although I think the cliffs are basically on your left every time that they come into play. I don't think there's any cliffside shots, whether it's on the right, but... No, I take it back, I guess 18, even though that's not really a true cliff. Oh, I need to fix these tee boxes. Before I forget that, let's do that. Because those are slightly off. And then that one will be good to go. Right. But again, little details. Like, that's one where, yeah, I should have caught that in the routing stage, but I didn't, so it's a little too late to fix that now, and we're just gonna kind of have to roll with what we have, I think. So, there won't, it'll be cliffs on the left kind of thing. There will not be a ton of hazards, or drop-off hazards to the right. Just by the way that anyone see Medina number 3? Yes. Oh, that looks like it'll be really cool. The animation for it's great. Alright, so those are prepped back up. Let's see. Yeah, there's no... All the cliffside holes have the cliff on the left, because it loops around the lake counterclockwise. 8 technically has a drop off to the right, but it's not like the full cliffside one. And I still have the floating fountain that I need to get rid of. We'll fix that when we get there. Alright, so 8 is done. That's fine. Cool. And we know 9's good. So the next one that needs a little bit of work is 15. And really, I think that's just tweaking. I don't mind any of the concepts here. Oh, that's right. Left side was going to be rocky. right side, I was going to put a bunker in, kind of in that, yeah, at the end of that layup area there. So that will work just fine. That might be a little large. Oh, have a good one, Ben. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully this one will be done and ready for you to play before too long. There we go. Spot for it works. I still think it's a little large, but we can fix that relatively easily. There we go. And let that part pop up just a little bit. There, I think that works. Actually, and the size of this looks better now that the land is sculpted a little bit. So maybe we'll be okay with kind of how it was penciled in. Yeah, actually, I think that works. No, this spot sits up a bit too much for me, especially since you can't see it from the tee anyway. So we want that to sit down just a little bit, actually, especially this area. Because we want you to be able to see the green site and the bunker from the landing area, and that should solve our issue just there. Oh look, Maddie, you still around? Would you like to do the honors of banning the bot? No? Alright. Bye-bye, bot. You missed your chance, Maddie. You could have broke out the ban hammer, and you're just not quick enough. Oh, that's right. You said he had already popped off. Never mind. I forgot that he stepped out for, what, for a half hour or so. They really are just pervasive. You cannot avoid the bots. Alright. I think we're good on this one. This one already has a green that I like. That's fair. Alright. They basically always want to play left of those bunkers. Actually, and as far left of the cliff as you can play is generally the angle on this hole. Alright. Yeah, I think the sight lines for this shot work. Didn't need anything crazy. And I don't think this green really needed anything either. It was just minor touch-ups to this one. I guess we can call this one ready to go too. Oh, I need head tees for that one. And heavy rough surfacing. Probably do that for this one. I think that's a little bit of what we need. Well, it looks fine by me. This spot needs a little bit of touch-ups, but other than that... There, I think we're good there. Good enough. Fill that in. Call it a day there. Nice view over the next hole. Yeah, I really do like... the one thing I think this course really has going for it is... what was I gonna say? Just sight lines between all of the holes as it sits kind of in a big bowl where all the high points are on the edges and the low points are in the middle. So, you know, from the edges you can see the entire course, and you can always see the the holes that sit on the other side of the quarry or ravine, whatever you want to call it. From where you're at, it just means that you just have long sight lines on every hole, and you kind of can see most of the course from wherever you're at. You know, there's a nice, just good views all the way around. Couple little secluded areas in the corners, which I think is a good change of pace. But other than that, very open, lots of sight lines. I might. Again, I'd like to sprinkle more trees in it to fill it so it doesn't feel empty, but I don't want to go too heavy on trees interior to the plot, and again ruin those nice sight lines that we're talking about. You don't want to wall this off too much. Although this one doesn't need a lot of trees. I could probably sprinkle like a couple in here type thing. Probably a couple in here as well. Because it's a little empty on this side, but maybe we sort that out when we get to the planting portion of it. And the edges here don't look that bad. It's not struggling with kind of the cliffside stuff that 8 was. So I think we can just do tee boxes and this one will be good to go. I feel like we're doing a lot of tee box work for this stream, which is not the most exciting content. But it needs to be done at some point. And we'll jump shapes there. We'll go with, we don't want all of our tee boxes identical, but we can just go for the generally rectangular ones and call it a day. That's right, this is a par 5, so. So, we'd have mostly back tees and then, maybe like a generous kind of junior tee up to the front. It's like kind of a senior tee here, I suppose. Yeah, that works for me. Cool. Again, fills the space a little bit. Alright, we'll get these flattened out, we'll sprinkle some crowns, and we'll move on to the 17th. Because I don't need to do any green work on this one. guess this one, like, I need to do some texture work on this one, like heavy rough on the tee boxes and stuff, but I suppose I could just do that when we get to the planting part, because this one will need a little bit of planting help it's very empty right now, so this one will need a little bit more stuff put in than some of the other ones. As far as planting goes, some of the holes on this course are basically done already, which will save us a lot of time on our last pass. Plus, like, it's not a great, I don't think it makes for great stream content. I will do one episode in this series on planting, and just like going over the general stuff that we're doing. But as far as actually sitting and planting on stream, it's really boring and really slow. Even slower than this stuff, I think. Unfortunately, just because of the way that this course came together, where a lot of these ideas were fleshed out when, basically before the series started, episode-wise. I did stream all of the early stuff that we did with back when this was going to be kind of a jungly course. But I don't know, the episodes were so-so, and since we ended up scrapping most of the work anyway, I just decided not to include those as part of this series. So we missed a lot of the early like the routing and the idea stuff for this, which is kind of a bummer, but that's okay. It's really tough sorting out how to document a project like this where the idea changes midway through. Yeah, I'm glad to hear you're enjoying it, or finding it helpful. Enjoying it is an assumption, but all right, here we go. We'll do pin 2 just to kind of get a look at something slightly different. Yeah, I think this one works as is. Very kind of generous landing area, but with lots of slopes that aren't necessarily helpful. So, even though it's, of course, we're not going to get anywhere close with that shot. Yeah, I think this is the first design series that I've done where we had some kind of major shift in the idea midway through, which happens. Usually I'm pretty good about having a sense of an idea and what works before I really dive into it. But I guess it was kind of inevitable. Just the odds of a course staying with kind of what your initial idea was all the way through is pretty low, and just us being able to do that multiple series in a row is, it's kind of not going to happen. 16 needs tee boxes, but I think, and multi-pinned. Okay, we can do some work on 16 then. I need crowds. I guess I could just sprinkle those in at the end. We can do some kind of more, do stuff a little bit more efficiently. All right, so pin's a little harsh in terms of slopes. Okay, so one right on top of that ridge is nice. I think we can put pin 1 all the way in the back. Pin 2 here is interesting. And then something like that I think could work. I mean, maybe we can play around with this slope. Like, here's another viable pin location up front here. But I think I like on the back half of this little ridge a little bit more than on the front part of it, so that should be fine. Need to update the tee boxes here, but we'll probably do that off stream. I think just doing the changes to 17 and 18 will probably get us to about our episode length. I mean, I guess I could come back and do that, but again, doing tee boxes on stream, not very exciting. Other than, it's just getting the last little bits of technical work done. And then all we have to do is planting. Oh, that's right, I forgot. I had done some work to the tee shot on this, and then it never saved, so that's kind of a bummer. We'll just have to go back and do that again. Yeah, I was gonna say, most of the top designers, as far as you're saying about how things, or people do different stuff, everybody's got kind of a little bit of their own style to it in terms of construction. Like, we'll pick up stuff from each other, and there might be a lot of stuff that are similar, but even then, there's a little bit of unique personality to it. I want, not waypoint, I want tee box settings. There we go. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I don't want the stream to be all tee boxes, but I can at least get a couple of these sorted. The ones kind of on the top part of this cliff we can do. The ones that'll, more affect what sightlines we need for the playable tees. Alright, so this is all you're gonna get. Let's make sure this works. I don't want the... Yeah, so the thing about this being flat is now it blocks a lot of your view of the fairway. And this is one of the more dramatic looking holes. We don't want our views to be tee box dominated here. So that means I think we're gonna go ahead and split this up. Come on. Why are you being difficult? There we go. We'll move this up slightly. And it's gonna sit on a little bit of a lower ledge. That way, it does not interfere with our sight line from the top tee. Actually, let's undo that. Grab that brush. A little finicky, but this is the kind of stuff where we'll get the general movement of this kind of how we want. Then we can go back and reflatten the tee boxes. Kind of dripping over the edge a little bit. I could also move these. You taught Andre something on his stream yesterday morning. Ooh, interesting. What was that? Out of curiosity. I mean, like, even those of us who have been in the designer a while, like, we're all still constantly learning stuff. It's not like we don't stop picking up new stuff. So, new ideas are always good. Oh, fair enough. When you're on Xbox. Yeah, admittedly, I've never had to design on consoles, so like I know it's definitely slower. But I'm not, I can't picture how much slower it is. That being said, when I started doing this, I was only playing it on a non-gaming laptop, so my game was slow. Funny thing, I think when I was playing TGC1, my game would run it, but the frame rate was pretty slow. So it chugged pretty hard, and then I think I had to do like minimal settings, and I can't remember. Like I think I had to bump the resolution down too in order to get it to run at a reasonable frame rate. So it was just like my whole setup when I started playing this game was very sloppy. I mean, since then I have gotten a real computer and now can run it on very reasonable settings. I think I can play it on ultra, and actually get frame rates and stuff. And the designer is so much faster. Oh yeah. 100%. The stuff with the softer edges is great for getting your surfaces to kind of blend into the environment, because that's something the game doesn't really do that well on its own. Alright, so hopefully this will get us a little bit of our sightlines back for this hole. Yeah, it's a very harsh kind of tee box setup, or spot for like teeing grounds, so there's lots of, like this one might get a little finicky. Yep, that works just fine. We get a much better view here. Yeah, unfortunately. But that's okay. We work with what we have. Alright. I like the bunker on the left. The one on the right, I think it's fine as well, or the back right one. The front right one, we want to do some work too. I think that was one I had redone. That one works there. We'll sink that a little bit. Whoops. Alright. I want to say I just redid the top line for this one. That was all I really did to it. So I think I can just replicate that. It's just me splitting this up. We'll get that one sorted. Yeah, admittedly, this will I don't know if it'll be fast, but it should at least be easier to do this the second time around, even if it's slightly annoying. Because I've already tinkered with it to kind of get something I wanted out of it. I don't know. Now that I say that, this doesn't look that good. Oops. Trees are in the way. Hey, it looks better. I think the scaling's off here. This is probably fine. It's not really visible anyway. Alright, X better to me. The last, like, the interior volume isn't as big, so it doesn't look as oversized as it did before, despite it really not being that much smaller. Yeah, scaling on that looks a lot better. Perfect. Alright, good enough. Alright. Actually, let's bump that up just a bit. Now, is this bump due to surfacing or sculpting? Looks like it was surfacing, so. Yeah, oh, another little tip, like if you're making bunkers out of shapes, like they can close up sometimes, even though like there isn't, like basically the game will connect shapes that are close enough together. And if you keep having bumps in your bunker that you can't get rid of, sometimes it's just due to the surfaces not quite connecting right, and if you just run a brush over it, it'll flatten it out. Because the game handles the, essentially it sinks any land that's under bunkers slightly to kind of auto give you a little bit of a pan to it. So you're trying to give every Dream Team course a play as well to get a feel for them? Absolutely. I will probably do more of that closer to the draw date for that, since I can and will forget a bunch about all of those courses between now and when we pick the matchups. All right, yeah, I think we want a less what do you want to call it? We want a narrower, deeper green here. I think we want to leave this runoff though. It'll have to be slightly different, but alright, so that goes bye-bye. Now slot this in. It also means we're gonna have to redo this bunker, but that's okay, because I wasn't really a fan of that one anyways. Alright, sharp and smooth. Looks good to me. We'll have to redo all the transitions probably. We'll see how close these are. Fingers crossed they're workable. Because all the transitions were drawn for a green that was slightly different. That's okay. I guess we could bring that in a little bit if we wanted. Because that's not a very good transition. That one's okay. That one's not great. That one's not great, but that's okay. Here. I want to remove that distance marker. There we go. That's the one we want. Toggle the light rough. Bump the width up. I believe it's 4.2 I'm aiming at. Yeah, I think that works. Oh. It's probably smarter to work instead of trying to rework the green to fit the existing fairway that's there, we just adjust the fairway for the green. Cool. That one's better. Whoops, that's not what we want. There we go. Alright, I think that's close enough for me. I need to redo that green side bunker. But if they had different color splines for fairway and green? Yeah, I suppose so. I think that's an issue that comes up infrequently enough that, you know, it probably isn't worth coding all of that. But, you know, you never know. Alright, let's see. Now what kind of bunker do I want in here? Nope, that looks terrible. Let's not do that. Alright, what do we want here? So we need something like this. That'll work, I suppose. We'll have to work the sculpting and kind of fit that shape, but I think that's the best I've got for that so far. Because this isn't, yeah, this part is sitting way too low for that look. Let's do a quick save here before I forget, because I've got a fair amount of work done here. Or bring some of the hill down from the right. Yeah, that was one of the nice little perks of working from home is, you know, you could do stuff like, oh, I'm just gonna have a beer with lunch, because why not? I mean, obviously, like, nothing ridiculous, but just, you know, especially like, you know, say March, April of 2020 when you're just horribly depressed and anxious all the time, you're just like, any little thing where it feels like you're getting away with something was just, you know, it's like the little pleasures that you're kind of holding on to as, you know, just something to keep you sane. It's like, cool, there's one minor perk to this, and I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy it while it exists. That's, yeah, I didn't quite go that far, but I think I did it maybe once or twice. I just had a beer with lunch, again, purely just because I could. It's more just, hey, I'm going to do this because it's a thing. If I don't do it now, I'm not going to get to do it, so I just did. Yeah, I'm wondering if we're going to end up going back to working from home again in 2022. I'm like, I get the sense that we're gonna hit the point where we probably should be doing stuff like that, but we're not going to. Yeah, I like that bunker better. I don't know if this massive runoff area is required anymore. I think the answer is no. I still like it. I just think maybe I could scale it back some. No, the green is not nearly as large. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, there's a lot of very different work cultures and a lot of very different places. So, you know, drinking at work is not something that happens in my line of work. Or honestly, most. I think it's kind of becoming pretty unusual anymore. I have no idea what I'm doing with this green. I'm kind of just like I guess I can add a little like ridge back here that can kind of funnel into some of those back right pins. Something like that could be fun. Actually, and the back left pin if we wanted. Yeah, basically. It's about 4 to 6 inches all you need to get a nice funneling slope. So that'll depend a lot on your green speeds. Right now I have it set to 187 because I want them to be able to play at those speeds. Essentially, a good rule of thumb is design at whatever you want the highest, design at the highest green speeds that you plan on using on your course. So they don't have to be 187. If you're like, say, what's it? Skinny Post's new one, the old style Lynx one, where he's using light rough for his fairways and that sort of stuff. Like, that's gonna have a slower green speed with more severe curves. So, like, if the highest green speed that you intend your course to play on is, say, 144, then you really don't need to bother designing around 187s. But, if you want 187s to be playable on your course, which is fine, then generally you would want to design for that, or design with that in mind. In this case, I figure I want it to be playable for 187s, so I'm designing at 187. And before I publish, I'll bump it down a little bit because HB wants the green speeds a little lower. But anyway, and they also want their courses a little on the easy side. So I think the best way that I found to design for that is to make greens that I think are difficult and interesting at 187, and then just bump the speeds down, and they're nice and tame. So, like, there's an interesting version of it for people who want to seek that out, and all they got to do is just bump the green speeds up in the options. But, for just kind of a straightforward, general golfing audience's experience, then, like... Let's see. The problem, watch out, is when you publish lower to not have everything too flat. Yeah. Let's see. Made that error, design and publish on 187. But anyway, sorry. I'm jumping around a bit. So anyway, 4 to 6 inches, probably enough to get you some funneling slopes if you're designing on 187s. If you're bumping way down, then it might be a foot or two. But anyway, the red slopes will tell you, essentially, like, red and orange are what you need for it to really start funneling. So essentially move the land until it changes to the colors that you need. There we go. I think I only have one pin set for this, or one pin on this green so far. We can fix that. Dale, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so I think, like, how I'll do greens varies from project to project. I've kind of been treating all of the 2K greens about the same. As I said, I've been designing those on the 187s, trying to make them a little, like, wild and borderline at that speed, and then just bumping them down to something in, like, the 150 to 160 range. The highest speeds they want us to use for any of these 2K courses are 163. So, like, again, it's not going to be published at anything higher than that. But, again, just to, like, for those who want the, like, who aren't new to the game, want a little bit more challenge. Not that these are ever going to be that hard. It's... That way, again, it's functional up to 187, because I know, like, there's definitely some people that just load up a course and blindly set it to 187s, regardless of whether or not it's designed for it. So it kind of, idiot-proofs it in that way. And so there's no green speeds where this course is unplayable on. Which, again, for an ordinary course, like... There's definitely courses I have made where they are not functional at 187s because they just weren't designed for those speeds. You don't have to design for 187s if that's not something that you want, that you're intending to set up. Again, something for very general audiences, yeah, that's something that I'll keep in mind. And then, yeah, like the greens will be a little on the plain and simple side for publish. I figure it's, for general matchmaking and all the playlist stuff, it's better for it to be on the slightly easy side than the slightly hard side. And then again, for those of you who aren't new, who know their way around a tougher course, let's see. You may be judging. Ah, nice. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I the greens on like Matapori are, I think they play fine at the whatever 157 or something that I published them at, but they really shine at 187. I think some of them get really dicey, but like there's so many bowls and like funnel pins and stuff on that one for kind of all the half par holes that it's really a more fun experience, in my opinion, of just playing to different spots on the green and getting the ball to run in to where you want it to go. But also for the standard version, it's friendlier and you can just kind of fire at pins if you want. The 187s are, again, it might be a little on the tricky side for a more casual player, so it's leaving that as an opt-in setting versus the default setting works just fine for that. And then I gotta do this one. I think 17... Oh, I need to put the pins in. But other than that, it should be done. I think I'm pretty happy with where this one's at. Actually, I say as I probably want to bump this up just a bit. With just a little bit of, you know, dialing up the... Oh, that's a bit much. Okay, we're gonna add some little slopes and things to this. Humps and bumps, if you will. They don't have to be too precise, because we're just trying to make it not perfectly flat. Alright. Oh, especially around the green, we can kind of get some little hollows for the ball to funnel into a little bit. Oh, getting those really dialed in will probably be a playtesting thing, but for the time being... Oh, multi-pins, that's what I'm missing. Alright. No, never mind, I multi-pinned it. What am I thinking? Yeah, so let's try a different pin, and we'll just give it another roll. Oh, hang in there. Yeah, it's wild just how, like, every supply chain on Earth is just completely screwed up right now. Really makes you realize just how incredibly fragile the infrastructure we've built is. Alright, I like where the bunkers are at. I probably need to resculpt those a little, but alright, let's see here. Now, these need a little bit of work still. I need an extra tee box or two, sprinkle the crowds in, that sort of stuff, do the little heavy rough bordering, but I'm also kind of running toward the end of, by the time I'm done, I figure it'll be about hour 45 into the episode. That's about as much as we realistically want this episode to be. So yeah, we're gonna skip some of the little detail-y bits to the last couple holes. Really try and get this done so we can cut this episode. And really just so I'm happy with the fairway. Also, I think it's about time we delete the silly... actually, I could just move it. I don't think I can change the height of it. No, I cannot. That's unfortunate. I'll need to just rebuild this later, but... again, I can do that off stream, but I'm just gonna move it purely so I remember how it's constructed, and then we'll, you know, once we actually build. No worries, man. But thank you for tuning in. It's been good having you. We'll catch you next time. All right. So I think those bunkers are good. All right. So it's just green site that we need for this one. Now let's see. So we have skinny or long but narrow green, kind of middle-ish, like roundish green. Another long and narrow greens. Maybe 18 is a little shallow and and wide. Is kind of what we want for that. Also 490 though, so it needs to be a little more generous. So let's see. You know, obviously preferred line is from, you know, the inside of the bunkers. I mean, we could do kind of the normal KP type shot and just have the green angle out to the right a little bit. So, you know, the closer you get to the bunkers on the inside, the better your line is into the next one. That's, you know, kind of standard, doable idea. Let's see here. Also, we need to sculpt this a little bit. I did do raise, cool. We'll bump that green site up just a little bit. Lower the land in front. Actually, I could probably shorten this just a touch. Yeah, no more Mickey Mouse green. Sorry, man. Alright. Probably something like this could work. Although, like, this forced carry is nuts. There's really no angle that makes that doable. And it's going to be 180 uphill. So maybe we want a little less severe than that. Whoops. We want to keep that. I wanted to get rid of these. That's what we wanted. Cool. We could make the angle a little less severe. This. Yeah, something like that can work. Then I can expand the cut in a little bit more. Fill in some bunkers on the right side. Actually, and on the left if I wanted. And that could work. It's, you know, I think that's a good kind of stout finishing hole for the last. Now we gotta go move all the spline points that are now redundant. That works. Same with this side. They don't really matter, so they can do whatever, because they're all just under the green. Can be a swirly mess in here and nobody will know or care. We'll just trace this in. There we go. Let's see how close that is. Probably not bad. Bump the width up. That should work just fine. Oh yeah, I was gonna move the splines too. Which again makes it a little more tricky, but that's fine. I forgot he was gonna move some of these, but again, it's all good. We can do the really finicky touch-up stuff off stream. Like, you know, like maybe correcting some of the transitions here, whatever. Adding tee boxes and stuff. We showed you enough of that. You know what's happening. It's not like we're doing major stuff off stream. You're waiting for this year's Babylon Dream Team publish. I mean, we've had some weird stuff in Dream Team. Maybe not quite Babylon weird, but definitely some unusual stuff. Again, Link's course with Light Rough Fairway is up there. Oops. That shape's a little ridiculous, but I mean, it kind of works. I mean, we'll cut this back slightly, but other than that, I think those bunker shapes kind of work. Oh, I agree. I loved Babylon. I still love that course. I think it got a bad rap that was undeserved. Because the course was great. It was quirky, it was interesting. It checked all the boxes you'd want. It was just unusual, and I feel like unusual courses usually don't get like judge appreciation. Like if you think really outside of the box, it's always going to alienate some of your judges, and it's just, you know, the reward for like pulling it off isn't usually as high as, you know, just pulling off something solid and safe. So it's just, you know, I wish there was a way around that, but usually it just kind of turns into stuff that's really groundbreaking just doesn't usually get contest recognition. That's just kind of how it is. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Frederick had some very creative stuff on his course as well. Oh, well, again, maybe I go back and redo these bunkers, but you know, we have redone a lot of bunkers on stream. If I redo a couple off stream, not the end of the world. You guys have seen the process. It's not being hidden, so. Well, I didn't minimize it all the way. That's fine. I need to delete this song off this playlist. It's very annoying. I just have to figure out which one it is. Okay. Got it. The perils of copyright-free music. Some of it's just not good. How much did you miss? Basically the entire stream, because this one is just about wrapped up. I'll probably do a little bit of, you know, like random rounds and stuff off, or after stream for a bit, but everything's laid down. But you like the starting look of the clubhouse. Yeah, I'm thinking we can tighten it up, but I think that's kind of the general look I want to go for, and we'll throw another layer on for the roof. But this is just me kind of tinkering with some ideas. I think that works good enough to turn that into an actual clubhouse. Again, it's a little funky, but I think it's fine. So yeah, we will be doing the clubhouse on stream as well. It'll be in a later episode. I think it'll be in our last episode. We'll probably do so I think we'll get we're really just about at the point where all 18 holes are in, sculpted, pinned. Every playability wise, the course is how we want it. It's done. With maybe like some minor tweaks from playtesting, that sort of stuff, but I think we're right about where we want. And after that, it's just playtesting and planting. So maybe we're gonna waterfall off the side that 18 dives into. It will fit with the funky modern artwork. Oh, that's right. I need to do more modern artwork off the course. I only have my little goofy where did I put it? There it is. My little not quite functional sundial, because it's just a clock face. But yeah, I got this fun little silly side thing. I need to get the stairs finished and all of that. Yeah. So I think that'll be I'm not sure if I want to do any of the random modern art sculptures on stream or not. Probably not, just because I think there'll be tons of trial and error, and I won't really be able to reliably get anything into a watchable stream level. We'll see. But I think, which would leave the last stream being a little bit of planting, just enough to kind of show off techniques and stuff, and then clubhouse and that sort of area. Yeah, I want to get a little silly for that, especially since it'll be like they're all going to be kind of tucked into corners. So like I think putting them in spots where you have to seek them out versus being like too in your face. Oh, I this isn't bad as termed. Like I did like a little like metal sculpture looking thing with camera towers. Maybe I keep that as is. That's not bad. And I can put some over, by the, clubhouse practice area, that sort of stuff. Yeah, again, they're kind of leave it in like Easter egg category type stuff. We don't want them in your face. We want them tucked away in background spots. Like I think maybe like back here is a nice spot for a little sculpture of some kind of tucked down there so you can't really see it from the course. We'll figure it out. Anyway, let me drop in our last little bunker. I think we want probably one short of this green. Just a little one. Practically for visuals more than anything else. Oh, that does look off balance to me. Maybe we do just leave it to the right side and let maybe we let it just be more runoff or something. I could run a fairway out like that. I don't know. Again, maybe we tinker with that later. We want like kind of a narrower bunker there. That looks good. Sure, we'll throw that in there. Bump up the sculpting a touch. Seattle Sculpture Park. Now I'm gonna have to look that up and maybe see if I can get some, some modern art sculpture ideas off of that. I promise if those get done before the last stream, which I'm assuming they will, because I think last stream will be kind of polishing and stuff. Again, like clubhouse area, I don't know, or maybe that might have to be partially off stream. Just because there's nothing that I feel confident that I can do, like, in one shot, essentially, and get it right. Because I'd hate to stream and then, like, fiddle with something and then change my mind and go, no, this isn't working, I need to scrap it and start over type stuff. I do that already, but we want to keep that to a minimum. Kind of the curses of series like this, where it's, you don't want to undo or stall out on stuff that you're doing on stream, which kind of limits a little bit of either courses that you're doing on stream or parts of those courses that you're doing on stream. See, I'm looking at this bunker going, this just isn't working, and it'd probably need a little bit of help. Either in sculpting or shaping or something. It looks off to me, so we'll sort it. But yeah. Oh, I kind of need to do I haven't done any green. What do you want to call it? Surfacing. I have the shape. I haven't actually done anything with it yet. We'll get the back all raised up. We want this to slope nicely from back to front. We don't want that. We don't want that back dropping off. All right, let's just do a good raise. 2 feet should work. Come on, where's our slopes? There we go, that's better, cool. Drop this a little because we don't want it to be nearly as severe. I also want to drop this a little too. This green's kind of terrifying, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure. Alright, so you'd have a pin back. You'd have a pin here, a pin back there, and one kind of in this middle tier, where can probably add a little bit more of a bowl feature to it. There you go. Good enough for now. Actually, we can probably raise this a little just to drop the severity of that that slope there. That's a little better. Hey, Surly Aussie, how's it going? Sorry, I just saw you pop in. Alright. Well, we obviously need to do a lot of planting around 18 and, you know, get the tee boxes and stuff done, but I think as far as the whole concept goes, I'm generally happy with where this one's at. I'm getting a little closer with that bunker, not the greens. Kind of penciled in, but we'll sort all that out. We're at 146. Okay. I'm debating if I want to do a quick playthrough or we just call it there. Actually, no, let's do a quick playthrough. Because I think, I mean, there hasn't been a ton that's changed since the last episode, but, you know, it's a nice way to, like, kind of show off where the status of the course is. It's fine. We can do it in probably like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. It'll be a little bit of a longer episode, that's fine. We've done some short ones, we'll do a long one. My unpublished courses, that's what I'm looking for. Let's make sure we got some wind on this. We'll go high. Everything else default, because that is fine. Let's do pin 2, why not? Yes, this is, like, loosely based off of, what's it, Whistling Rock, something? Keep confusing it, like, name-wise with, I think it's Whisper Rock, the course in Arizona that a bunch of professionals are members of. I think this one's Whistling Rock. Whatever the one that isn't in Arizona is. But it's very mountainous, it's kind of, you know, very Fazio-ish without being a Fazio course. But, you know, like, just the look is gorgeous, and that kind of fit what I was looking for. Plus, it's a little different. So, yes, if you know, if you look at that one and look at this one, there should be some vague, like, you know, obviously the course is original, but just kind of some general, like, same general vibe and look that we're going for. Again, the course might be a little overdone in my opinion, but or the real life one I mean, but like it's the like just some of the photography from that place is amazing. As try hard as it can be, I think it makes up for it with just some stunning views. Also, yeah, planting wise, I'm gonna have to go. We've done most of the perimeter on this one, but we'll have to fill in the gaps and make sure that all the perimeter planting is done well, so you can't see off the plot at all. Hide all the empty spots that we're not using, essentially. I don't think any of the front lines really changed. Actually, I don't think this one had a green last time I streamed, so this is kind of new. Normal. Oh. That was just a bad shot, but we'll get away with it. Yep, no worries, man. Thank you for tuning in. Honestly, I don't know how to... I'm not really sure how to design for Divot Derby. Nor do, like... Obviously, I want to keep Divot Derby in mind while designing, but, like, really it just turns into... Divot Derby needs courses that are easy. Or, like, that's where it excels, where you can just fire with abandon. But, I don't know, there's not, like... There's a lot of ways to, you know, set up golf courses to play great for normal golf modes, and I'm just not sure, like, what the... Like, what's your ideal metrics for designing a Divot Derby course? Plus, a game mode does not get a lot of traffic now anyway, so, like, if you're designing a course around Divot Derby, you're really just designing it for Jives, and that's basically it. He's the only one I know who plays that game mode regularly. Actually, and Seamount, he plays it occasionally too. But it really just seems like bump the green speeds way down and, you know, make the course slightly easier. That's kind of that's kind of how you design for Divot Derby, and it's antithetical to how you design, like, golf courses for anything else. Oh, that was a friendly bounce. Oh, that's not a good putt. That's okay. We'll make a weird par there. That's fine. Yeah, so long story short, I'd love to design some courses for Divot Derby. I just don't really know how, other than, you know, make the fairways and greens really slow, because watching your ball roll off is frustrating in Divot Derby. But that's... If anything, I think that it's just... That's not a design thing, that's a setup thing, where maybe 2K should, you know, should change the settings on that, where, like, say if we're publishing all these courses at 150 to 160 speeds, then, like, bump the speeds on the Divot Derby ones down to, like, you know, set the green speeds to soft, set, like, the putting speeds down to, like, whatever the, like, slow setting is, like 115, 120, something like that. And that's fair. Like, it's a new game mode that doesn't get a ton of play, and nobody's really kind of picking apart what makes an interesting Divot Derby experience. So there's really, you know, there's tons of research, or not research, but there's tons of writings and thoughts on golf course design. There's none on Divot Derby golf course design, so we're all just making this up as we go. There are no best practices or things like that yet. Yeah, I was gonna say, Jai's making Divot Derby courses would be hilarious. I just now I need that to happen. I didn't know I needed that, but I do now. Oh, this is probably going off the cliff. Nope, it's gonna hang up. Awesome. Yes, I play very quickly. Weirdly, like, I always play very fast, so the running joke was that I was going to be one of the best Divot Derby players ever, and I'm actually really not that good at that game. It requires a different style of play, and it's not... You can't just do what I do and play normal golf fast. You have to play, like... You know, you can't aim or do anything like that. I'm not in charge of those hiring decisions. Otherwise he'd be getting my vote. Nor do I have any insight into the, how that hiring process is going. I really do love the way this hole looks. It's just a stunning spot for one to sit in. I mean, it's a fun hole. It's not spectacular in terms of how it plays. It's more just like a postcard hole for me, with just a fun green site. Oh, stay. Oh, yes, that was enough. Awesome. Yeah, that too. And yeah, defaulting clubs, that sort of stuff. But yeah, we can make sure that we do our waypoints and stuff on this course correctly for that reason. Yeah, I'm with you, Ducker. I know somebody got an interview. I'm not sure how kosher it is for me to talk about. Again, I don't have any inside knowledge on it, so I really don't know any more than you guys do, just from, again, hearing from people who applied to it. But again, I don't know how, like, I probably just shouldn't talk about it. Just, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I don't want to step on anyone's toes or anything like that, so we're just gonna, like, we'll leave that in the private sphere. I don't need to talk about that publicly. But I mean, other than like, hey, 2K has a job opening for course design. If that's something that you think qualified for and that interests you, then you can like go ahead and apply. Like that's that's all I have to say for that at the moment. As far as I know, the position has not been filled yet. Yeah, exactly, Ducker. So, as far as I know, you still have time to apply. If you don't have a lot of design experience, then, again, I think there's some people with solid credentials that are applying, so if you're, like, really new at this, and you're just like, oh, I could do that, then, maybe don't. You want some credentials first. Yeah, but if you think you're a fit, then 100% give it a go. Yeah, I like this one in 15. I think as much as the partially blind idea is cool, I think these just work better when I bump the, when you're not hitting over a hill. Ooh, this hole's going to be interesting with this wind. I don't know if this is drivable now. I think we're going to actually have to lay up here. That's the first Jerry joke I've heard in ages. That would be an interesting interview process, I'm sure. Yeah, this one's a fun hole. This is on the quirkier side, but I think the what do you want to call it? Like, this course has a little bit of quirk to it. I think it really, really suits it. Did I multi-pin 16? I can't remember. I guess we'll find out here shortly. If not, I can just do that real quick, but of course I don't need to do that on stream either. Oh, it's a pitch, not a full shot. That's okay, it works just fine. Alright. Oh, that's yeah, I did do that. So, because I did not have a pin there before, so we know we multi-pinned this one. Awesome. Still needs tee boxes, but that's fine. I could do that after the stream. I can go in the bonus after stream content of me making tee boxes. Then we get to go do 2 holes that actually changed during this stream, at least a little bit, 17 and 18. So there is something new in this playthrough at the very least. I think some of the back 9 holes we did at least There's a number of holes that didn't have greens last time we streamed, that sort of stuff. So there is something new here. And then, you know, hopefully the next time that we stream a playtest, it's done. I don't know how much of the planting stuff I'm gonna do on stream. Last episode might be more of a wrap-up than like a real full design episode, but that's okay. The last stages of this get a little trickier for content purposes. Oh, that is not enough. That's okay. Yeah, I think we're on the right track here. This one's been fun. I think it's a pretty promising course. I think, you know, with polish that it needs, I think it'll be a really promising effort. All right, so I think that's a pretty good place to cut it for now. Thank you everybody for tuning in. For those of you in chat, I think we'll keep on streaming for a bit longer. But for those of you watching on YouTube or the VOD, we will catch you in the next episode. And until then, have a good one.